Eagles and other birds of prey. Eagles are some of the largest and most majestic of all birds. Their wings can span as much as 8 feet, 2.5 meters. These huge wings allow eagles to glide a long way. Birds of prey. Eagles are raptors, or birds of prey. There are about 280 kinds of raptors, including falcons, hawks, harriers, kites, buzzards, and vultures. They live in all sorts of habitats, from deserts to swamps, and from the Arctic to South American rainforests. For hundreds of years, falcons have been trained to hunt from a person's gloved hand. People often put hoods over the falcon's head before the hunt to keep it calm. The peregrine falcon, shown here, can fly faster than any other bird. In a dive, it may reach a speed of 200 miles per hour, 330 kilometers per hour. Falcons often kill their prey by running into it in midair. Vultures are scavengers, animals that feed mainly on dead and dying animals. They circle high in the air, watching for food. When one vulture sees or smells a meal, it drops quickly to the ground. Other nearby vultures follow, and soon there may be 50 or more vultures pecking over the dead body.
Kites live in warm climates all over the world. Most kites eat food that is easy to catch, including dead animals. A kite's feet are weaker than the feet of most other raptors, and its body is slimmer and less powerful. The swallow-tailed kite, shown here, lives in the southeastern United States.
The sparrowhawk hunts smaller birds. It can swoop down on them with a surprise dive, or chase them twisting and turning through the trees. Sparrowhawks live in Europe and Asia. Hunters of the sky. Eagles and other birds of prey are built for hunting. They usually hunt during the day and return to the safety of their nests at night. Many birds of prey hunt rodents, larger mammals, or fish, but some eat wasps, other insects, snails, or fruit.
Because of their size and strength, eagles are popular symbols and emblems. The bald eagle, shown here, is the national symbol of the United States. It is not really bald, but it looks that way because the white feathers on its head contrast with the dark feathers on its body.
An eagle's huge wings carry it high in the air, where it slowly patrols the ground for prey. When the eagle spots food, it folds its wings and drops suddenly and silently from the sky. Some eagles are strong enough to fly away while clutching an animal as large as a small lamb.
The eagle uses its long, sharp talons to hold its prey. It attacks a fish or animal with its feet first, using 3 claws to hold it. The claw in its 4th back toe cuts into the victim like a knife.
Eagles rely on their eyes to find prey. The eagle's sharp, hooked beak is good for tearing up food, but not for catching food. Eagles rely on their eyes to find prey. The eagle's sharp, hooked beak is good for tearing up food, but not for catching food.
Eyesight. Eagles and other birds of prey have the sharpest eyesight of all animals. They can see 2 or 3 times farther than you can. A raptor's eye has a very wide retina, the screen upon which images fall inside the eye. The retina is packed with nerve cells, making it very sensitive. Do you see something in this picture that an eagle would like to eat?
Maybe not, but an eagle would. Eagles can see an animal on the ground from as high as 1 mile, 1.6 kilometer, in the air.
Nesting. Eagles and most other birds of prey mate for life. A mating pair may return to a nest year after year if the nest is safe from predators and near a lot of food. The birds defend the nest and the territory around it from other birds.
A female lays 1 or 2 eggs in a nest called an eyrie. While she incubates the eggs, the male hunts and brings food to her. Eagles tear food into pieces for their young, called eaglets. Eaglets can leave the nest when they are about 3 months old, but their parents keep feeding them for a few months after that. In danger. Many birds of prey have become rare because of people. Today, some of these birds are protected by law. During the 1950s and 1960s, many birds ate plants sprayed with DDT, a pesticide. They laid eggs with shells that were too thin and weak to protect the chick inside. Most chicks died, and the number of many kinds of birds, including peregrine falcons, sparrowhawks, and golden eagles, dropped disastrously. The use of DDT as a pesticide was eventually banned in the United States.
Condors are among the largest flying birds. Their huge wings can measure 10 feet, 3 meters from tip to tip. The California condor has almost disappeared. Many were shot and others died after eating poisoned meat set out in wolf traps. Today, almost all California condors live in captivity and are raised in special breeding programs.
In the Philippine Islands, people cut down the trees of the rainforest for timber and to make land for farming and raising cattle. By doing this, they destroy the habitat of the monkeys that live there. The monkeys cannot survive. Since eagles prey on the monkeys, the eagles starve too.
Cactuses. Ouch! If you've ever gotten stuck by a cactus spine, you know that they're very sharp. Almost all cactuses have some sort of spines, though the spines don't all look the same.
All cactuses have flowers. They usually bloom in shades of yellow, orange, and purple. Round, fleshy fruits grow from the flowers. The cactus shown here is called the prickly pear cactus. Its fruit is edible. A cactus spine is actually a leaf that functions as protection. Cactus spines grow out of small bumps on a cactus's stem. In some kinds of cactus, the bumps are so close together that the cactus looks like it has ridges. These pear-shaped pieces may look like leaves, but they're not. Cactuses don't have green leaves like other plants do. Everything you see is stem.
A cactus's spines are sharp to keep hungry animals away. Can you think of another living thing that uses spines this way? How about a porcupine? Desert dwellers. Scientists think that millions of years ago, cactuses looked like many other plants you see today. They had green leaves and woody stems. Since then, they have evolved to live in deserts where few other plants can survive.
The cactus stores water in its fleshy stem. If there has been no rain for a long time, the cactus looks thin and shriveled. When it rains, the stem expands.
A cactus makes thousands of seeds, yet only a few find enough water to take root and grow into new plants. Like many other plants, cactuses need insects to pollinate their flowers, and they need wind, rain, and animals to spread their seeds.
Most green plants lose a lot of water through their leaves, but cactuses' leaves have developed into spines. Spines are too small to lose much water.
A cactus's tough, waxy skin helps keep water inside. Cactuses use a special kind of photosynthesis to make energy. Unlike most green plants, they breathe, take in carbon dioxide, and release oxygen only at night, when the pores in their skin can open without letting too much water evaporate. A cactus's tough, waxy...
A cactus has many roots that fan out near the surface of the soil. When it rains, the roots can soak up water from a large area around the cactus. Kinds of cactuses. There are about 2,000 kinds of cactuses, and they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Almost all of them grow in North and South America. Do you recognize any of the cactuses pictured here?
This cactus is called a jumping cholla. Parts of it fall off so easily that they seem to jump out at you as you pass. When the stem of a cholla hits the ground, it may grow roots and make a whole new plant.
This kind of cactus is called a giant saguaro. It grows mainly in Arizona and part of Mexico. It is a slow-growing cactus, but it may reach a height of 50 feet, 15 meters. You probably haven't ever seen this Mexican neogomacia cactus. It and dozens of other cactuses are very rare because plant collectors have taken them from the wild.
Practical cactuses. Suppose you were a bird that lived in the desert. What would you eat? Where would you build your nest? The answer to both of these questions might be cactus. Cactuses are important to both people and animals.
The cactus wren builds its nest in the prickly cholla cactus, where its chicks are protected from predators. Other animals eat the fruit of certain cactuses, and one kind of finch uses cactus spines to dig grubs out of trees. Even people use cactuses for food. How would you like a snack of fried prickly pear cactus stem?
Many people grow cactuses because they like the way cactuses look. Planted close together, cactuses make a fence that no one will climb.
Cactus copies. Sharp spines, thick stems, waxy skin. You might think you know what a cactus looks like, but can you pick out the cactus from the plants in the picture? Both cactuses and spurges are succulents, or plants that have fleshy stems and leaves. Other succulents that you may have heard of are ice plant, aloe, and jade. The succulent pictured here is called Simpravia, which means live forever.
Believe it or not, this is a cactus. The Christmas cactus grows in tropical forests. It is an air plant, a plant that grows on the trunk or branches of a tree, where it can get light and absorb moisture from the air. Many people keep Christmas cactuses as houseplants.
This plant is not a cactus, but a spurge. Like a cactus, its leaves have evolved into spines, and its thick stem expands to store water. How do you tell the difference between a cactus and a spurge? Look inside. Spurges are filled with thick white sap.
Palm trees. About 2,800 kinds of palm trees grow in warm and moist climates around the world. People use these trees for many things. Look at the date palm in the picture. Where do you think you would find something to eat? Something to make rope with? Something to make shade or a roof out of?
Coconut palm. Have you ever tasted or seen a coconut? Coconuts are the fruit of the coconut palm. Their sweet white meat is actually the coconut seed. Coconut milk, a sugary liquid that people drink or cook with, fills the hollow center of the seed. People also use the leaves, bark, and sap of the coconut palm. Coconut palms grow in the tropics, mostly near the sea.
Oil palm. The oil palm has small reddish fruits that are crushed to let out their oil. This oil is used to make many things, such as soap, margarine, skin cream, and cooking oil. Date palm. People have been farming date palms for more than 5,000 years. Date palms grow best in warm, dry places, including deserts where few other plants can grow. For desert people of the Middle East, this useful tree has been the tree of life. Date palm. People make stringy date palm bark and trunk fibers into matting and ropes. Date palm. Date fruits from the date palm tree are nourishing food for people and animals. Dates can be eaten both fresh and dried, and their juice and the date palm sap are used as sweeteners. Even the pits of the fruits are used. They can be ground up for animal food or burned as fuel.
Date palm. People make date palm leaves into roofs and sunshades. The leaves can also be woven into baskets.
No ordinary tree. A palm is no ordinary tree. Its trunk stops growing wider at a certain point in its life, and you can't get wood from it. Only a few palm trees have branches.
Some palms have several trunks that grow in a cluster from a single base. These palms may look more like shrubs than trees. Most palm trees grow up straight and tall. Their leaves grow only at the top of the tree, and they leave a ring-shaped scar on the trunk when they die and fall off. Small plants called suckers may grow from the bottom of the trunk. Some palms have very thin, flexible trunks. This rattan palm from Southeast Asia grows like a vine. It often climbs up other trees in the jungle. Some palms have very
Reptiles. Scaly-skinned animals such as lizards, alligators, turtles, and snakes are called reptiles. Some reptiles live on water and some on land. Most are found in warmer parts of the world. There are more than 6,500 kinds of reptiles in 6 main groups.
Snakes are some of the best-known reptiles. There are more than 2,000 kinds of snakes. Snakes are some of the best-known reptiles. There are more than 2,000 kinds of snakes.
Lizards make up the largest group of reptiles with about 3,000 different kinds. Lizards make up the largest group of reptiles with about 3,000 different kinds.
There is only one kind of tuatara, and it lives on only a few New Zealand islands. The tuatara is about 2 feet, 61 centimeters long, and has hardly changed in body shape for millions of years.
Alligators, crocodiles, caimans, and gavials are all crocodilians. Most crocodilians are now officially protected species. It is illegal to trade these animals and their skins, eggs, and other products.
There is only one kind of tuatara, and it lives on only a few New Zealand islands. The tuatara is about 2 feet, 61 centimeters long, and has hardly changed in body shape for millions of years. Tortoises and turtles are the only reptiles with shells. Tortoises and turtles are the only reptiles with shells. The worm lizard is a blind reptile that, unlike other kinds of lizards, has no legs. It moves like a snake and detects its prey of insects, worms, rodents, and small lizards by sound and smell.
Scales. Reptiles come in many different shapes and sizes, but all of them are covered with tough scales. These scales both protect the reptiles and keep them from drying out in warm climates.
Most kinds of reptiles molt, shed their skins, a few times a year. New scales grow underneath the old ones, loosening them so they fall off. Lizards' old skins come off in strips, but snakes shed their skins in one piece. A crocodile's scales wear away slowly throughout its life.
Some reptiles, such as chameleon lizards, have special skin cells. Pigments inside these cells expand and contract, making their scales appear to change color. This helps chameleons blend in with their surroundings and hide from their enemies.
Senses. Like mammals, all reptiles hear, see, and smell differently. Snakes, for instance, hear only by picking up vibrations from the ground, and worm lizards cannot see at all. These animals rely on other senses to find food and escape enemies. Some snakes, called pit vipers, have a sixth sense. Pit organs on either side of a pit viper's face sense the heat that a warm-blooded animal, such as a mouse, gives off. The snake can strike accurately at the mouse, even in total darkness.
Snakes and lizards use their tongues to sense food, danger, and changes in the weather. This blue-tongued skink uses its tongue to pick up chemicals in the air and carry them to special sensory organs in the roof of its mouth.
next time you meet a reptile, look at its eyes. Most reptiles that are active during the day have round pupils. Reptiles that are active at night have pupils that look like slits. These pupils can close almost all the way if the reptile is out during the day, so that the bright light does not damage its eyes. The next time you meet a
Food. All reptiles, except for some turtles and lizards, are meat eaters. Reptiles often have a huge meal and then go a long time without eating.
Tuataras easily tear up beetles, worms, slugs, small lizards, birds' eggs, and chicks with their sharp teeth.
Chameleons, geckos, and some other lizards use their thick, sticky tongues to catch insects.
With its jaws open wide, a snake can swallow prey that is larger than its own head. This northern water snake is swallowing a goldfish in one piece. Hot and cold. Lizards and other reptiles are cold-blooded. That means that unlike you and other mammals, they need heat from the environment to keep their bodies warm and active. Their blood is not actually cold, though. Reptiles spend much of the day playing hide-and-seek with the sun.
At dawn, the lizard sunbathes with the side of its body facing the sun so it can absorb as much heat as possible.
The lizard stays out of the hot midday sun to avoid getting too hot. The lizard.
At dusk, the lizard basks with its head facing the sun to keep up its body temperature. Its body temperature will fall after dark, making the lizard slow and sluggish. When the weather gets cold, the lizard will burrow underground and hibernate, or sleep, until it gets warmer outside again.
Life cycle. Most reptiles lay eggs. The eggs have leathery shells to keep the embryo inside from drying out. Some snakes and lizards, however, give birth to live young.
At dusk, the lizard basks with its head facing the sun to keep up its body temperature. Its body temperature will fall after dark, making the lizard slow and sluggish. When the weather gets cold, the lizard will burrow underground and hibernate, or sleep, until it gets warmer outside again.
Life cycle.
This sea turtle is burying her eggs in the sand. Female reptiles often lay their eggs in a protected spot. In most cases, that is all the parental care they give. The young must take care of themselves from the moment they break out of the egg.
Philippine crocodile hatching. Reptile young look like their parents. Most reptile eggs hatch during the summer, after they have been incubated by the sun. Reptiles that give birth to live young usually live in cool climates, where the eggs need the warmth of their mother's body to survive. Evolution of reptiles. The first reptiles appeared more than 300 million years ago. They soon became the largest land animals on Earth. The most famous of these animals are the dinosaurs. Scientists think they first appeared about 220 million years ago.
Coelophysis was an early meat-eating dinosaur. It probably hunted lizard-like reptiles and other small animals of its time. Coelophysis was about the size of an adult human.
Camels. The camel is the largest animal in the desert. Camels can travel a very long way without eating or drinking. When a camel does drink, it can drink more than 30 gallons, 136 liters, of water at a time. A camel's stomach can hold huge amounts of both grass and water.
A camel stores energy in 1 or 2 humps full of fat on its back. When food is hard to find, a camel lives on this energy. When a camel uses up the fat, the humps become shriveled and may flop over to the camel's side.
Warm and dry. A camel's whole body is built for life in the desert. For instance, camels don't sweat. Instead, their body temperatures can rise without causing them to overheat. On very hot days, camels keep cool by not moving around very much.
A camel's wide padded feet spread out to keep it from sinking into gravel and soft sand. A camel strides at an easy pace with its long legs. It has thick pads on its leg joints and chest so it can kneel in burning sand.
A camel's thick fur keeps it cool during the day and warm at night.
A camel stretches its long curved neck to eat small desert plants.
A camel's eyes, ears, and nostrils are set high on its head, making it easy for the camel to detect danger from a distance.
A camel stretches its long curved neck to eat small desert plants.
A camel's long, thick eyelashes protect its eyes from scorching sun and blowing sand.
A camel's nostrils can close almost completely during a sandstorm to keep dust and sand out. A camel uses its teeth to bite off and chew thorny desert plants. Not even thorns can pierce the camel's tough lips or the inside of its mouth.
One hump or two. There are 2 kinds of camels. The Arabian camel or dromedary has 1 hump. The Bactrian camel has 2 humps. An adult Arabian camel is about 7 feet, 2.1 meters tall at the hump, and weighs over 1,100 pounds, 500 kilograms. Bactrian camels are somewhat smaller.
Most Bactrian camels live with people in the deserts of Asia. A few still live wild in the Gobi Desert in northern Asia.
Almost all the 14 million camels in the world are Arabian camels. More than half of them live in Africa. Others live in Southwest Asia. All these camels are domestic, or raised by people. Domestic Arabian camels were set free in the Australian desert, where about 15,000 now live wild.
Camels at work. Have you ever had a glass of camel's milk or eaten camel cheese? You would have if you lived in parts of India, Afghanistan, Arabia, or Africa, where people raise camels like cows. Camels there pull plows and provide meat, hides, wool, milk, and transportation.
Camels have even been in the military. Napoleon's army used camels to carry people and supplies on a trip to Egypt in 1798. Even the U.S. Army has tried to use camels as beasts of burden. In the 1850s, about 120 camels worked in the southwestern United States. Trains soon became more useful, however. The camel is often called the ship of the desert. Camels carry people and their belongings across the hot desert. They can carry up to 300 pounds, 135 kilograms, for 8 hours at a time. Camels often groan or balk when they're forced to carry heavy loads. They can also kick powerfully. Camel family. The camel is the only member of its family with a hump. Other members of the camel family include the alpaca, the llama, the guanaco, and the vicuña. People have used these animals for thousands of years.
Alpacas freely graze in the Andes Mountains of Peru and Chile, but are herded into villages to be shorn. Their wool is long, soft, and very strong, and is more useful and valuable than sheep's wool. Alpacas are smaller than camels and llamas. For this reason, they are not generally used to carry loads.
Llamas were first tamed by people more than 4,000 years ago. Cars, trucks, and trains have largely replaced them for carrying people and things. But llamas are still used to carry things in South America. Llamas are killed for meat and for their hides.
Wild vicuñas live high on the Andean mountain pastures. The vicuña is an officially protected species, but both vicuñas and guanacos are still hunted for their meat, hides, and wool.
The graceful guanaco lives wild on the plains and in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. Sure-footed on land, the guanaco has also been seen swimming between islands off the coast of South America.
Lizards. A lizard is a marvelous thing, of colors many and scaly skin. He darts, he skitters from rock to rock. A snake with legs, this would be croc. He sheds his skin as he gets old. His feet have claws, his blood is cold. To warm himself, he suns his back. All reptile tricks, but when attacked, his tail breaks off and grows right back. What is a lizard? Do you know what makes a lizard a lizard? Try to pick up a lizard from the animals in the picture.
This animal may look like a snake, but it's a lizard. Some lizards have only 2 legs. Others, like this slow worm, have none at all. So how can you tell the difference between a snake and a lizard that looks like a snake? Most lizards have ear holes on the outside of their heads, and almost all lizards have eyelids that move up and down. Snakes have neither of these things. Salamanders, like this one, are often mistaken for lizards. Salamanders are amphibians. They have smooth, moist skin. They stay out of the sun and live in cool, dark places. Lizards, on the other hand, are reptiles. They have dry, scaly skin, and they can be found in the sun. The lizard shown here is called a crested water dragon. Like most other lizards, it has 4 legs and a long tail, and its feet have sharp claws. Kinds of lizards. There are about 3,000 kinds of lizards. They live all over the world, except in Antarctica and very cold regions of North America, Europe, and Asia. Lizards eat all kinds of food, including insects, other lizards, and plants. Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon is not a real dragon, but the largest lizard. It can grow to be 10 feet, 3 meters long. It eats dead animals and also catches deer, pigs, and wild boars. Komodo dragons live on the island of Komodo and other islands east of Java in Indonesia.
Tokay gecko. pads on the feet of the tokay gecko are covered with about 1 million tiny hair-like structures that help the gecko grip surfaces. If you have a pair of hiking boots, look on the bottom of them. Do the soles have patterns? Why do you think that is?
Gila monster. Only 2 lizards have a poisonous bite, the Gila monster and the Mexican beaded lizard, both from southern North America. The Gila monster hides in a burrow by day. It comes out at night to eat small animals, such as mice and the eggs of other reptiles and birds.
Defense. Lizards have many ways of keeping themselves out of other animals' stomachs. If a predator grabs the tail of a skink, for instance, the skink escapes by leaving its tail behind. The tails of many lizards break off easily. They grow back to almost the same length.
The Australian frilled lizard has a flap of loose skin around its neck, which folds flat along its body. The lizard raises the frill to make itself look bigger in order to scare away a predator. It also waves its tail and head around to alarm its enemy and then scuttles away.
The horned lizard, sometimes called a horned or horny toad, has one of the most unusual defenses of all lizards. When this lizard is threatened by a predator, it shoots a stream of blood from each of its eyes.
Many lizards are colored to blend in with their surroundings. Tree-climbing lizards, such as this cone-headed lizard from Central America, are often bright green to match tree leaves. Desert-dwelling lizards are sand-colored or brown. Many kinds of chameleons change color to match their surroundings. Chameleons also change colors when they are excited.
Leaping lizards. 4-footed, 2-footed, or no-footed lizards can move quickly. Some move in ways you might not expect. Some lizards dive, swim, and even walk on water. When the crested water dragon runs on land, it stands up and runs on its hind legs only. Lizards called flying dragons leap and glide through the air, using the extra skin between their arms and legs as if it were a parachute.
Little lizards. Most lizards hatch from eggs. In some cases, however, the eggs hatch inside the female's body, and the young are born alive. A few kinds of lizards develop much as mammals do, inside a placenta that brings the unborn lizard nourishment from its mother's body.
This female broadhead skink is incubating her eggs. Some female lizards guard their eggs until they hatch, but in most cases females leave their eggs alone. Almost all young lizards take care of themselves.
Some kinds of lizards never find mates. That's because they don't need to mate to have young. All of these lizards are female. They lay eggs from which more females hatch.
Antelope and gazelles. Antelope are long-legged animals closely related to sheep, goats, and cattle. They can run very quickly in great leaps.
The addax, a large grazing antelope from the Sahara Desert, never drinks. It gets enough water from the plants it eats. Like other animals that live in sandy deserts, the addax has feet that spread out wide to keep it from sinking in the sand. The horns on an addax have spiral ridges. The addax uses them for defense and in contests for control of the herd.
Kinds of antelope. There are about 100 kinds of antelope. They have names like dik-dik, arabi, impala, and kudu. Antelope live mostly in deserts and open grasslands, but a few live in other places. The bongo, for example, lives in forests, while the klipspringer climbs around rocky mountains just like a goat does. This antelope is called a duiker. Its name means one who ducks in the Afrikaans language of South Africa. Duikers got their name because they often duck into the underbrush or suddenly drop to the ground out of sight when they are trying to get away from enemies.
Oryx are very good at keeping cool in the hot African sun. The body temperature of the East African oryx can rise to as high as 116 degrees Fahrenheit, 47 degrees Celsius, before the animal starts to sweat. The white coat of the rare Arabian oryx, shown here, does not soak up nearly as much sunlight as a darker coat would. Oryx share even small patches of shade with each other. The royal antelope from Western Africa is the smallest antelope. It measures 10 inches, 25 centimeters, at the shoulder.
Gazelles. Gazelles are a puzzling case. Some scientists believe gazelles are antelope, but others think they're just relatives. Gazelles have bands of white or red across their face, and both males and females can have ringed horns that grow their whole lives. Gazelles are best known for the way they bounce along on all four legs. This movement is called pronking.
Enemies. Lions and other large carnivores, meat-eaters, hunt antelope and gazelles. They must use surprise attacks because antelope are fast runners. People are an antelope's worst enemy. People overhunt antelope and gazelles and destroy their habitats. As a result, many of these animals are dying out.
Roadrunners. Although it could not outrun a coyote, the roadrunner is an extremely fast runner. It can run more than 15 miles per hour, 24 kilometers per hour.
Legs. Roadrunners can fly, but they are built for running. They live in the deserts of the southwestern United States, where they race people, horses, and even cars. The roadrunner was named for its habit of running down desert roads in front of horse-drawn carriages and other vehicles.
A roadrunner's legs are extra long, strong, and blue.
A roadrunner has 4 toes, 2 in front and 2 in back. This X arrangement helps the roadrunner run over dry open land.
Quick study. It is hard to get a good look at a roadrunner. If disturbed, it quickly runs into hiding in the brush and cactuses. However, roadrunners are very curious birds. If you sit still, one may come out to look at you. A roadrunner has a long, sharp beak that it uses for hunting lizards and other small reptiles. A roadrunner can kill a rattlesnake with its beak. It's almost impossible to spot a roadrunner if it's standing still in a bush. Its feathers are just the color of the plants in the desert.
A roadrunner's tail is 12 inches, 30.5 centimeters long as the rest of its body. Nesting. A roadrunner often makes its nest in a cactus. Roadrunners use twigs, branches, and even snakeskin to line the nest. Females lay between 2 and 6 chalky white eggs in the nest. A prickly cactus hides and protects the roadrunner's nest from enemies.
Roadrunners feed their chicks lizards. Sometimes the lizard is too big for one mouthful. Roadrunner eggs do not all hatch at the same time. This way, the parents can have more time to feed each chick.
Snakes. Long, legless, scaly, and slithering, snakes are found almost everywhere. The only places you won't find snakes are in the coldest regions, on the highest mountain peaks, and on a few islands, such as Ireland and New Zealand. Eyes and ears. Snakes do not have eyelids. Their eyes are always open, even when they are sleeping. Snakes can see movements, but not much else. A snake doesn't have outer ear openings. Its ears are completely inside its head. Bones in a snake's head pick up sound vibrations and carry them to the inner ear.
Jaws and fangs. A snake swallows its prey whole. A snake's jaws are made to expand to the size of its food. Snakes can digest every part of an animal except hair and feathers. A poisonous snake has a pair of hollow teeth called fangs. The fangs are attached at the front of the snake's upper jaw. When a snake bites, muscles pump venom through the fangs into the victim.
Tongue. A snake smells with its tongue. The snake sticks out its tongue to pick up odors. An organ called the Jacobson's organ on the roof of the snake's mouth collects odors from the tongue and nostrils.
Belly. A snake's long belly has large scales that overlap like tiles on a roof. These scales are called ventral scutes. Rattle. The rattlesnake gets its name because it shakes the tip of its tail to scare off predators. The rattle consists of a row of hollow rings that make a noise when the snake shakes them.
Hunting. All snakes are hunters. They can swim, climb, and move easily over land, even though they have no legs. Most snakes eat small mammals, birds, other reptiles, and fish. However, a snake will bite anything if frightened.
The emerald tree boa, shown here, belongs to the boa family, which includes all boas, pythons, and anacondas. These snakes constrict or squeeze their prey to death. They're some of the largest snakes on Earth. Some anacondas, for example, are more than 25 feet, 8 meters long, and weigh 500 pounds, 227 kilograms.
Blind snakes are burrowers that eat ants and termites. Most are only a few inches long and look a lot like worms. Some species can grow as long as 3 feet, 1 meter.
The cobra paralyzes its victim with a poisonous bite.
Snakes can move quickly over sand as they hunt down insects, small birds, and mammals. The African mamba can go 10 miles per hour, 16 kilometers per hour.
Sidewinding keeps the snake's belly off the hot ground. The head and tail support the trunk as it's lifted sideways. Movement. Snakes have 4 ways of slithering. Any snake can move forward by pushing the sides of its body off rocks, plants, and rough ground. A large snake, such as a python, can creep up a tree in a straight line. The snake grips the bark with its big belly scales and then pulls the rest of its body forward. A snake can move on smooth ground by bunching up and stretching out the muscles in its body like a spring. Watch the video to learn how snakes move on sand.
Reproduction. Most snakes lay eggs. Some snakes are viviparous, which means they give birth to fully formed young.
A snake can lay up to 100 eggs in a burrow or under a log. It will then leave the young to survive alone.
A snake egg expands as the snake inside it grows.
A hatching snake has an egg tooth that it uses to crack open its egg.
Be careful! Snakes can bite as soon as they are born or as soon as they hatch. Be careful! Snakes can bite as soon as they are born or as soon as they hatch.
Dangerous snakes. Most snakes pose no threat to people, but the bite of some snakes, such as cobras, rattlesnakes, vipers, boomslangs, and mambas, can be harmful or fatal. The eastern diamondback is the largest rattlesnake and the most poisonous snake in North America. It's more than 7 feet, 2 meters long.
Always be careful around snakes. Know which snakes are found in your area. Don't panic if you see a snake. Back slowly away from it. Most people can easily outrun a snake. If you or someone you know has been bitten by a snake, find an adult to help you. Call a doctor immediately. Keep the person quiet and motionless. Place the bitten spot below the level of the person's heart. Try to remember what the snake looked like. Scorpions. Like the greatest of superheroes, the scorpion can survive almost anything. It can live without food for a year, and it can stay underwater for several days without drowning. A scorpion can be frozen for weeks, yet survive on the hottest deserts without any problems.
Strictly scorpion. Scorpions have interesting bodies. Like spiders, they have 8 walking legs. Like lobsters, they have big claws on 2 of their limbs. Unlike either of these animals, however, scorpions have a long, narrow tail that ends in a stinger. Many people think that is the most interesting part of all.
It's no wonder that spiders and scorpions have some things in common. Both types of animal are arachnids, along with mites, ticks, and daddy longlegs. The sting in a scorpion's stinger comes from 2 poison glands. A scorpion runs with its tail curled up. That way, the stinging end is ready to strike its prey or a predator.
Scorpions can live a long time and grow quite large. One species can reach 8.4 inches, 21 centimeters. That's longer than your hand. Some scorpions live for more than 25 years.
A scorpion's pincers are called pedipalps. Scorpions use the pedipalps to catch the insects and spiders they eat. Sting. Would you believe that the sting of most scorpions is less painful than a bee sting? There are more than 1,500 species of scorpions, but only 25 species harm people. Most people can't tell the difference between scorpions unless they are experts. It is best to avoid them all. The desert scorpion shown here is one of the few scorpions in the United States that can kill a person.
This scorpion is not deadly, but its sting will still hurt. If you get a scorpion on you, brush it off carefully. In areas where scorpions are common, be careful when picking up boards and stones. You should also wear shoes when walking on floors at night, and always shake out your shoes before putting them on in the morning. Scorpions like to live indoors.
Slow. Scorpions will sting quickly if disturbed, but they spend most of their lives not doing anything. They grow slowly and hunt very little. Their lack of activity helps scorpions survive where other creatures can't. Scorpions simply stay hidden through the hard times. Scorpions are born alive and are carried around on their mother's back. A mother scorpion protects her young for several days after birth while they grow strong enough to take care of themselves.
Supper. Most scorpions catch their food by sitting and waiting. Tiny bristles on their pincers help them sense the air movements and vibrations made by a moving insect or spider. Scorpions grab the prey with their pincers and sting the prey only if necessary. Then they eat the prey immediately, head first.
Even though they have a painful and sometimes deadly sting, scorpions are eaten by many other creatures, especially other scorpions. In a battle between 2 scorpions, the scorpion with the longest tail wins. Hedgehogs. Have you ever seen an animal with a back like a pincushion? Hedgehogs have stiff, needle-like spines covering the top of their bodies. These spines are special kinds of hair. A hedgehog uses them to protect itself. Both Roman and Chinese legends tell of hedgehogs using their spines like skewers, carrying fruit around on them to eat later. It's easy to see how something might get stuck on the spines, but it most likely happens by accident.
A hedgehog has about 5,000 spines. When it senses danger, the spines stick straight out. Hedgehogs are born with their spines just under the skin. If the spines stuck out, giving birth would be a much more painful process for the mom. When a hedgehog is threatened, it rolls itself into a ball. A ring of muscles around the lower part of its body tightens like a drawstring on a purse, tucking its head and feet inside. The hedgehog usually peeps out to check the danger has passed before rolling over onto its front. A hedgehog has about 5,000 spines. When it senses danger, the spines stick straight out. Hedgehogs are born with their spines just under the skin. If the spines stuck out, giving birth would be a much more painful process for the mom. Kinds of hedgehogs. Most hedgehogs have short ears, a short tail, and a long snout. They vary in size, from as big as a rabbit to as small as a large shrew. People often confuse hedgehogs with porcupines because they both have quills, but they are not closely related.
The European hedgehog is the most well-known. It is about 9 inches, 23 centimeters long, and spends its days partly curled up in a bush or pile of leaves. At night, it might root around a garbage dump or a garden for food. The European hedgehog doesn't seem to mind living near people.
Hedgehogs that live in the desert have large ears that give off excess warmth to keep them cool. They use their strong legs and sharp claws to dig burrows in the sand where they rest during the day.
If you think hedgehog is a funny name, what do you think of moon rat? That's what some kinds of hedgehogs are called. Moon rats, also called gymnors, are shy animals that hole up in trees or under rocks when they are not hunting. Unlike other hedgehogs, moon rats have no spines on their backs. The smallest moon rats have soft, thick fur. If you think
Food. Hedgehogs are insectivores, or insect-eating animals. Hedgehogs eat insects, worms, slugs, millipedes, birds' eggs, fruit, and the remains of dead animals. Some hedgehogs eat rodents and snakes.
Hedgehogs eat a lot for their size, storing up energy for the colder months. During the winter, when there isn't much to eat, hedgehogs that live in cold places hibernate inside burrows. Their extra fat keeps them alive.
Hedgehogs are so good at eating insects that some people keep pet hedgehogs for pest control. Other people put out food for wild hedgehogs, hoping to keep them around their property. This extra food can help hedgehogs get through especially tough winters. Hedgehogs hunt at night and are well adapted to living in the dark. Their sense of smell is keen, and their sensitive whiskers enable them to feel their way. Hedgehogs usually shuffle along slowly when they are looking for food, but they can move surprisingly fast when they need to.
Desert flowers. After a rainstorm in the desert, a miraculous change takes place. Beautiful flowers bloom in places that seemed almost lifeless.
Annual. To live in a desert, flowering plants must be able to survive for months or even years without water. When water does come, these plants must be able to grow quickly. Most desert flowers are annuals. Annuals bloom once and then die. Their seeds are left underground for the next rain.
Perennials. Only a few flowering plants can stay alive throughout the year in the desert. These perennials have special ways to store water.
The Mojave Desert Star is a desert shrub. Desert shrubs have large, long root systems that reach down to the water deep underground. Cactuses, such as this claret cup cactus, have thick, spongy stems that store water. Their leaves are reduced to thin, prickly spines. This prevents the plant from losing water to the hot sun.
The yucca plant is a desert lily. It has thick, spiky leaves that help it hold on to water. Its pale, scented flowers attract female yucca moths. The moths carry pollen to other yucca flowers as they feed. The pollinated plants can then produce seeds to make new yucca plants. The yucca plant